All right then. Hi, I'm Dave Mollison.
And I'm Doug Mollison. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about a subject that a lot of people say is controversial. I don't really think it's controversial. There are a lot of strong opinions about it, though. And that topic is appendix carry. We've noticed in the last few years that more and more people are starting to carry appendix style. We see it on YouTube a lot. I mean, basically everybody on YouTube that has a gun channel is carrying appendix. We have a lot of friends that carry appendix, and there are some major safety concerns when carrying appendix that a lot of these YouTubers or firearms instructors will make justifications for, but really don't address the core issue, which is
The violation of one of the fundamental rules of safety.
Yeah, never point a firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy.
So we're going to try and do an objective video on this subject, but it's absolutely impossible to have that conversation with Doug without it being opinionated.
Yeah, so buckle up, Buttercup, because here comes the rant.
Yeah.
All right, so we've watched in the last couple of weeks probably, 50 different videos on appendix carry. It's a lot of really well-known channels, really well-respected channels, and I just can't I can't fall in line with them. The problem with appendix carry is
you violate one of the fundamental rules.
Yeah, and they're going to say, well, it's in the holster, it doesn't matter, and that's true. If you've got your firearm in a holster that has rigid trigger guard protection and there's no way to access the trigger, then with a modern firearm, as long as it's functioning as intended, all the internal safeties are working correctly. If you've got an external safety, that's even better. There's no way for the firearm to fire. It cannot discharge. So it doesn't matter where you carry at that point, as long as it's in a holster designed specifically for that model firearm and you've got rigid trigger guard coverage, it's completely safe, regardless of carry position. The issue is that they're touting it as a safe method of carry, and while you can transport the firearm in your pants safely, when the situation gets hairy and you have to draw for self-defense, that's where the problem lies. When you clear your holster, you're violating one of the fundamental rules of firearm safety, and that's never point a firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy.
Yeah, there's always an issue when you have to try to justify violating
a safety
rule.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense to me, and I'm trying to keep my
composure
here. But it's not safe. Never has been safe. Never will be safe, because it cannot be made to be safe. At some point, when drawing from any holster, there's a possibility of crossing over some part of your body. There's a possibility of self-injury. The problem with appendix carry is that you're escalating an already tense, already dangerous situation to a possible lethal self-injury, not possible self-injury. And it doesn't make any sense. I can't find a justification for it, and nobody should be able to find a justification for it at all.
So we're going to go ahead and show you a few examples of what direction the barrel's pointed and what could potentially go wrong while drawing your firearm.
All right, to demonstrate, we're going to use my Glock 17. I've removed the striker, so this firearm is non-functional. I've also got an orange slide end plate on here, so you can see that I'm still using the same weapon. All right, I'm going to put the laser in. All right, we've got a safe weapon with the laser. I'm going to do a couple of draws. I'm going to point directly over the camera. If you see the laser hit me anywhere in my lower extremities, it's because the muzzle is pointed at my lower extremities. I'll change positions. Now keep in mind the whole time during this exercise, I've just been reholstering. I haven't been looking. I know that the firearm is safe, but that being said, whenever you're holstering an inside the pants, in an inside the pants carry position, you never want to holster the weapon with the holster in your pants. If you do have to draw your weapon, remove the holster, place the weapon in the holster, then place it back in your pants, whatever position it's in. Now I'm going to show you what would happen at 3 o'clock. If I'm carrying at 3 o'clock, I'm going to shoot this way so you can see where the laser's making contact with my leg. It's obviously, there's really no safe way to draw a weapon from any type of holster, but you'll see that I'm sweeping a non-vital part of my body. There we go.
As you can see in the video, every time you draw from appendix, or every time Doug draws from appendix, he sweeps himself. At the 3 o'clock position, it's a very occasional, potentially just a graze.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest concern with appendix carry isn't that you're sweeping yourself. Obviously, drawing from any holster, that's a possibility. The biggest issue is where you're sweeping yourself. We have some very large, high volume arteries and veins in our groin, run through our groin and down the inner thigh. And if you hit one of those, you're in big trouble. And drawing from 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, shoulder holster, you have the possibility of sweeping yourself or self-injuring, but the likelihood of a fatal self-injury is pretty low, versus appendix carry, where the likelihood of a fatal self-injury is pretty high. So, I mean, that's pretty much our take on it. I know that a lot of people are going to criticize how we were drawing the weapons, how we discussed this topic. It really is, I mean, we're beating a dead horse here, really, because everybody's talked about it, but it's, like we said at the beginning, it's a video that a lot of people, or it's a subject that a lot of people are passionate about and get pretty worked up at, and myself included.
Yeah, you notice that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the other topics I want to discuss about these YouTube gun channels is that I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or call anyone out specifically. I do want to address that there's a lot of safety issues being ignored when they're doing these videos, when they're teaching you how to be safe. They're not being safe at all. First of all, if you are carrying inside the pants, if you're going to reholster, remove your holster first. Put your firearm in the holster, then put the holster back in your pants. Never, ever put your holster in an inside the pants holster while you're wearing the holster. You're asking to shoot yourself. It's stupid. It's really it's negligent. You know that you shouldn't do it, and you do it anyway, and then you're taking that risk of shooting yourself. And we see them doing it, especially with the appendix carry. They'll flip up and shove it down in their pants. It's just it's a really great way to shoot yourself.
And then for the people that have sat there and watched YouTube videos and the people justifying or trying to justify it and come up with excuses for carrying appendix style, go back, watch some of their videos, earlier videos or later videos that they have of them drawing, and then you'll notice quite a few bad practices on it, because when they're showing you and trying to explain that
how safe it is, they're being super careful to make sure they're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Yeah. But if you go back and watch their videos and watch them draw, you can see that they're clearly pointing it at their leg or their groin or in areas that are, vital.
Yeah.
And they'll make claims about carrying at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you're going to draw past your leg, and that's a possibility. But the reality is if I shoot myself in the butt, that's not a fatal injury. If I shoot myself in the foot, that's not a fatal injury. If I shoot myself in the outside of the leg, there's a really good chance that that's not going to be a fatal injury. There is the possibility that if I cross through, I could hit the femoral artery, but when drawing from,
it's a lot less of a chance.
Yeah, what you want to do, especially in a situation that's high stress, high intensity, and high risk, is you don't want to increase the level of risk. You don't want to increase the level of stress. You want to do everything you can to mitigate the amount of risk. So, but there's no way to draw a firearm from appendix without pointing the firearm at a vital area of your body. And that is where that's where the only issue really remains. That's it. It's just not safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to an instructor that swears up and down by it, justifies it in any way and stuff like that, I'd almost guarantee they've never been put into a situation where they've had to use that in a self-defense, in a self-defense situation at all. Yeah. I've heard them talk about when they've ended up on their backs, or if they end up on their backs, at least they can get to it. And I hate to tell you, from someone that has been in fights, when you're on your back, both your hands are up trying to keep your head from getting beaten to the ground.
Yeah.
So
and not only that, but if somebody's closed that distance and you're grappling with them, you've already made a few mistakes.
Exactly. You failed already.
Yeah. The thing about carrying for self-defense is you're not looking to get into any type of situation. You want to avoid conflict at all costs. So if somebody calls you a name, calls your wife a name, tries to rile you up, just walk away. It's a lot easier to, swallow your pride. I don't even consider it swallowing my pride, because they're not even worth my time.
Right.
If somebody's saying that kind of stuff. But just walk away. It's really not worth it. You don't want to end up in jail or dead.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
We don't want to get the video too long.
Yeah.
So with that said, if you like this video, or if you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit that like button.
Hit subscribe, hit the bell button, or hit the bell icon, and leave some comments.
Right.
Whether they're good or bad. Let's get a discussion started, and
we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.